computer. Okay. Okay,
Very.
cool. So yeah, so I think trading is you against you. So just so that we could overcome our emotions and have more discipline, we wanted to come up with an approach with the so that we don't have to be in a position to think every day what to do next. Okay, I'm out of this trade. What do I do now? Do I enter long? Do I short? So we wanted to create a system that we could just blindly follow. We could just tell our 12-year-old son to go and, execute that trade when this and this happens, do this. That's it. We don't want to be in a position to analyze. Of course, you have to back test that system just so that you have confidence over it, right? You want to over 20 trades, over X number of trades, we want to see a certain win ratio or a certain return so that we know that this strategy or this approach will have a long-term positive expectancy. So that's what we came up with, that trading is all about. A lot of people uh, blame themselves. They will, go do things that really sometimes I think don't really make sense. But so it's a game of statistics. It's a game of probability. Okay. So as long as you keep the probability in your favor, as long as you keep the risk to reward in your favor, so that, hey, if I'm losing $10. But if I'm making $20. So that means even if your win ratio is 50%, you will be net positive, right? Uh, so that's the whole approach. And to get your mind around it was the biggest challenge for us because, uh, there will be times when, because, I mean, if you have been trading long enough, you know that no strategy will work every day, right? You will have periods of drawdown, but you have to have that confidence over that approach that, yeah, after X number of trades, I should be positive. That's the sort of approach we took. So, uh, what me and Annie, we do, we, of course, Karen, you've been kind of, I think Annie told me that you've been looking at the YouTube channel as well, right? Every day.
Yes. I've been following her in the morning when I trade.
Okay,
Correct.
okay, great, great. So that indicator, we developed, the whole idea was to kind of have some sort of uh, indication that the underlying market is also bullish or bearish. And then we come up with, so because that indicator in itself is nothing, right? It just tells us the momentum of the underlying symbols that make up the index, right? So once we know that the direction is bullish or bearish, then we kind of drill down into a lower time frame chart or some other form of chart like a tick chart or an Inza Renko chart to kind of define where to enter exactly, right? So that was the whole idea. And let me share my screen once. Sec. So I believe you got the tool number two screen. Okay. Let me know when you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So all right. So you want to take advantage of this tool that you got, right? So of course, that's a great thing, but the whole idea where this tool will actually work is, a lot of people don't see, is that this tool will not work all the time. There are specific market conditions that you need to enable this tool in, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today, and make sure that you go and kind of back test this thing a little bit. We'll go through a few examples right now just to kind of give you a visual of what to expect, what to do. But okay, so have you been able to install that tool on the
Yes.
computer? Okay, okay. So let's do one thing. Let me go to NQ, because that's the tool we're going to be playing around with. Let's go to 1 minute chart. Okay, and all right. Let me add 1 second. Tool. Okay, this is Think or Swim platform, Karen. I don't know if you have this or not. I usually do my charting and all the indicators that I kind of develop. I use this charting. I like the software. I like the platform. But all my trading is, or Annie's trading is, all done on the Ninja Trader platform itself. This is just for charting and stuff. Uh, okay. So Okay, so just before we even get to this level, I want to show you. So you have installed the tool. So I just want to go through its settings, what those are, so that you know how to maneuver it, how to change it. So let's do this. Let's get into a playback functionality. Have you played around with the playback functionality of this NinjaTrader tool?
Yes, Rick has.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
every weekend I
Awesome. Let me go to playback. Okay, NQ. Let's go to any day. Oh, I already downloaded it. Okay. Uh, all right. Okay, so let's apply that tool, auto cloud. Let's do two contracts. So these are all the settings, right? So just kind of quickly go over this thing, what this means. Like I'll tell you visually what this means, limit cancel bars. But just for right now, if you want the tool to shut off automatically after it hits a certain profit, you can put that in amount here, like, whatever that is, 500, 1,000, 200, whatever that is, you can put that in here. And similarly, if you want it to shut off if it hits a certain amount of loss, you can also put that in there. Leaving it as zero means you really don't care about that. You're going to manually oversee that thing and you will manually shut it off or, put it back on. Okay. Limit offset ticks. So what that means is that when the tool submits the order, it is essentially a limit order, right? So for example, if a bar, let's just zoom in a little bit. If based on whatever settings you have put in, if your setting says that put the limit order to buy at the close of this bar, so it will be a limit order. It's not going to be a market order, right? So it will be placed at this level at the close of this Ninja Renko bar at 901.25, right? But sometimes you can tell it, hey, I don't want it to put a limit order at right at that price. I wanted to put a limit order, certain number of ticks below that. So let's say you say, hey, I wanted 1 point below this level. So which means it is 4 ticks, right? So you will put 4 in that settings right there. This one right here. So you will say 4. That means whatever the limit price is, it will always put the order 4 ticks under it or 4 ticks above it if it's a short order. Get it?
So the market has to come back and hit that, correct?
Exactly, exactly. Otherwise, you will not get a fill. But
it'll
more
go
often
through
than
it.
not,
I'm sorry. So it'll go through it and then it'll come back and hit it and then it picks it up, right?
yes, yes. It could be instant. It could be after 30 seconds, 20 seconds, whenever the price comes to that level, right?
Right.
It will. Uh, and then, well, there is, okay, yes, that's it. So that's, okay. And this top, you see limit cancel bars. You don't want that order to be, remain on the screen forever, right? You can tell that, hey, if that order does not get filled after 5 bars or after 10 bars, cancel it. Okay, so it will cancel that order. So you can put that in there. All right, that's the option there, uh, just for you. But if you don't have anything in there, you just limit cancel bar is zero. It will just place the order right there and then at the close of that particular bar when the criteria gets fulfilled. Okay. Uh, you can just leave them as is. These 34 and 50, these are basically exponential moving average, right? 34 EMA, 50 EMA. So these are all, so these cloud is basically the area between the two EMAs, right? So, and this is a 34 EMA and this is a 50 EMA. So the area between these two is sort of a blue cloud, right? And when it's turning downwards, the color changes to yellow. That's what it is. Okay. And this is the start time, stop time. This is based on Eastern time zone. So I think if you are going to be, uh, yeah, since you're in California, you will use this as 6:30 because that's the opening time, right? You will just kind of adjust that as per that time period. Uh, and rest of them is just all defaults. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, so let's just do one thing. Let's go through a few examples. So 2NQ, just so that we can test the functionality, you can see it, how it's working and all that stuff. That's fine. Okay, so you enabled it right here, and then it shows this little box on the screen, right? This is consecutive bars, right? So what this means is when the price is moving up, right? And you say, I want to go long only at this time, right? Five means that you are waiting for the consecutive five red bars, right? Only then it will take the entry once it actually sees consecutive five red bars, right? So right now it does not have any consecutive five red bars here in the screen right now. So it won't take any trade, right? So it will only take a long if it sees exactly five bars. But let's say, hey, you say, I don't care if it's five, three, four, whatever, as long as it's more than five bars, right? So then what you need to do is you just put that five in here and then click on this threshold enable button. That means as long as it's minimum of five bars, you want to get into the trade. So, for example, you enable it right here, right? And then now it's waiting. It sees, so you get one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight consecutive red bars. Your parameter is, I want it more than five. It doesn't matter if it's six, eight, 10, it has to be less, more than five, and that's it. So it will get you in after this green bar. So once it sees more than five red bars and it gets a green bar, it will submit the limit order to get you in the trade at the close of this green bar. Are you with me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. And let's say, but sometimes there are people who say, no, I don't care. Uh, I just want exactly five bars. That's fine too. So that functionality is there, but the way I like to use it, I just like to say, okay, as long as it's a pullback of more than four bars, I want to be in. Okay. So that's it. And now let's say if you have this cloud enabled button on as well, that means right now you're telling the tool to only get you into a long trade as long as the cloud is blue. So for example, right here, right? You get you get more than four bars of pullback and you want to enter right here, it will not submit the order because you have enabled the cloud's sort of restriction saying, hey, you have to honor the color of the cloud as well if you are going to get me in, right? So right now, it will not let you into the long trade because the cloud is yellow. It will only honor the color blue for long and short for the color yellow. If you keep it disabled, it will ignore that aspect and it will just get you in, as long as other parameters are being fulfilled. Okay. So I'm just going through the different functionalities for right now.
Now, okay, if the cloud is, say, yellow, but you have the long triggered, will it
Mhm.
or
It
no?
it will take the trade. It will
It
take the trade. Yes, yes. And sometimes people want that, right? People are like, "Hey, I want the deeper pullback. I want to get long somewhere over here." So at that time, you want to make sure that your cloud is disabled because you don't want to honor that colors anymore, right? So let's go through examples. Let's go through. Let's see. Okay, and when is the best time to enable these kind of strategies, right? So for example, I'll go to this Thinkorswim chart, right? So let's go to, let's, just to give you an example for now, let's go to, what is the time frame? Let's say, uh, okay, 13th. Let me open it up. Let's go back 3 days, just so that we identify a
Do
good
you have
time.
just the cloud tool installed on your Thinkorswim?
It is. If you need it, let me know. I can send it to you as well. Okay.
I'll have to look into getting a Thinkorswim account on how you do it. Do you fund a live account with them
Uh, uh,
or
it is. No, I don't think you have to have a fund. You don't have to fund it as long as you open the account, and even if there are $0 in there, it doesn't matter. Uh,
okay.
they will.
So,
It. Yeah. Go ahead.
so why do you use Think or Swim? Just because, like, you like drawing on that, marking up?
Yeah, I just like the drawing. I like the visual. I have been using it for like past 15 years. I'm just used to it. That's it. Otherwise, NinjaTrader is fine too. I mean, this is the same cloud that you see right here as well. Okay? On the NinjaTrader platform as well. So it is the same cloud, same setting, everything. It's just that I like it like that. And since me and Annie have been using it, that's why. Otherwise, there is no other difference.
Ninja doesn't have a great like marking up your charts. It's not really.
Yeah, yeah, Ninja does not have it. It looks more neat and clean here on Thinkorswim, definitely, right?
Because
So
he draws in the lines, right? All the levels. She plots those.
Yes, she plots those. Yes, so she plots them every morning. So these are support and resistance lines, right? Based on the different time frames. So if it's a yellow line, that means it's a weekly level, right? It has a higher sort of weight over the other lines. Other lines are blue and white, right? So the white line, if you see on the chart, that's a daily resistance level in the daily time frame. And if it's a blue line, that means it's an intraday time frame, like an hourly time frame or a 5 minute time frame. So just so that people can have a so if I put like a 5 minute view, and let me go to this one right here, right? So you and if I zoom out a little bit, you'll see it kind of looks where did it go? There you go. So, and I will, so it looks kind of, you can kind of make sense of it that, hey, this is a support level, right? It was resistance previously. Once we got above this level right here, well, let me zoom in. There you go. Once we got out of this resistance, so this was resistance, right? Price was getting rejected from there. Once we got out of that level right there, it became support, right? Price came back down, which was previously resistance. It is now support and it bounced back up nicely and it hit a weekly resistance. And now if we get back above that, there is this price level can be a good target. Above that, that is a daily target. So that's just another aspect of looking at it, just to kind of give you a guidance of, okay, where are we headed next? Okay. All right. So for our tool, let's go and look at, okay. So this is February 13th. Where did it go? Okay. February 13th. All right. So when is the best time to enable the tool, right? So this is a 1 minute chart. Let's go to 1 minute chart, right? And so the best time to enable the tool, which we have seen, with what we personally do as well, is Karen, when when the price is riding this blue cloud, right, in 1 minute chart. So when you see a 1 minute chart that looks like this, where so this is a 34 and 50 moving average cloud, and this one is, I believe, let me see, just want to make sure I give you the right one. Uh, 5 and 13. Okay, so when the price is above the 5 period moving average in the 1 minute chart, right? You see this, right? So let me highlight this thing. So if right now from 1357 on February 13th till like let's say all the way to like wow, it really had a rise rally. So this time period, right? So now let's go take a look what this time period looks like in the Ninzarenko chart. Okay. So 1357 till like 3 o'clock. Okay. So like from 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock. So now let's go to same time period. Let's go to uh why does it not show me that?
He has that green cloud.
That's green line, right? That's a 100 period.
I'm sorry, on the previous chart you were just on, that
Uh-huh.
green area right there,
It's
you
right
just,
there. It's just
Oh,
I
this
just
one right here?
yeah. I
Oh,
guess I got that too, I guess.
you just have to darken it up a
Okay,
little.
yeah, I
yeah, yeah,
got you.
yeah. So yeah, that's just a different EMA, and the area between those two different EMAs is colored differently versus the other one. That's the only difference in there. Okay. All right. So let's go back up and let's go into playback.
So when it's
Uh,
riding that green cloud, that's when you need to start paying attention and think about turning this on, right?
Yes, and I want to show you when it's riding that green cloud, what does what does this Ninja Renko chart, right? That's a different type of chart, right? This chart does not have any time aspect to it, right? So that's why people like to trade like active traders really like this chart because it does not have time aspect to it. Yes, you take the clues from the time, but then you trade in this chart. So that chart that we just looked at, right? Uh, in the 1 minute time period, this one, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the Ninja Renko chart. So this is how it looks like in the Ninja Renko chart for that same time period, right? From 2 o'clock all the way till 3 o'clock. You can say this is the view, same view in a different type of chart, right? So s- cloud, this is the same cloud, 34 and 50 period moving average, the blue cloud, right? When the price is moving up, when the trend is up, the cloud color is blue. And then I have this additional 100 period moving average as well, 100 EMA, which is shown as a green line. I'll tell you in a minute why do I have that, okay? But for right now, just focus on this. Okay, so now, ideally, looking at this chart, where do you think as a trader you want to be entering the trade, right? There are different areas that you can enter, right? So what this tool helps you do is it helps you configure where you want to enter at this time period, right? So if we were going to, let's go and test it, right? So let's go to that time of 2 o'clock, right? So I'm going to go to 2 o'clock, and right now Karen and Annie both identified this is a good time to be long, right? Based on that price riding the cloud, about 5 period moving average. How do I enable this tool? How do I change the setting of this tool so that it gives me an entry in this time period, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to say, hey, cloud, give me an entry on a pullback. I don't care as long as it's more than 4 bars, 5 bars. I want to be in, right? I only want to be long at this time, right? I don't, I mean, yeah, you can say I care about the color of the cloud because I want to stay with the trend, right? So I want it to be blue, right? And threshold has to be enabled because I don't want exactly 4 bars. I want it anything more than four, right? So I'm going to enable this and now I'm going to play it, right? So right there, so this was disabled. All these things were, as this. And as soon as you see the price moving up, right? I'm going to play it. You enable the cloud. You enable the tool, right? So now it's the strategy is going to look for the entry, right? So now let's see where it gives us an entry. So this is more than 4 bar pullback right here, right? So ideally it should get us in once it's gets the green bar, right? So I'm going to forward this thing a little bit just so that it
And
keeps.
what sort of stop loss do you run and what sort of profit do you run?
So, Karen, of course, definitely everybody is different. Everybody has their own risk, level of risk aversion, their own capital, all that stuff, based on what how much we want to risk. We risk 20 points, right?
Mhm.
And then, of course, you can based on if you like to stick with that, that's fine. You can have 15 points, you can have 10 points, but nothing is perfect, right? There is no right or wrong approach. It's just based on individual, uh, I would say, level of risk that you want to take. So based on what we back tested, based on what we are comfortable losing in one trade, based on the size we trade with, we are, I think between 15 to 20 points is max we want to risk. Okay.
Then and then she generally goes for double. So I mean, so if she risks 20 points, she goes for 40 points for profit, correct?
Karen, that's again, so this is again this trading right now, what we are seeing is based on the Ninja Renko, right? So the way we trade on this setting is a little bit different, right? I'll tell you in a minute how we trade this, but what you are talking about, the 20-point stop loss and the 40-point profit, that's based on the dots. That's based on the minute chart, right? So that's a different strategy. That's a different approach. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, no worries. So let's see, where do we get the entry? Okay, you see, the price moved very fast, right? It did not give us an entry. It submitted the limit order, right? And it canceled it after the 5 bars, right? So that's fine. We did not get the entry, but maybe in real time we would have, but I missed it because I was playing it a little fast. But wherever it is supposed to give you an entry, it would mark that blue. So let's see if it gives us another entry on the pullback. I'll just mark this thing a little fast. Uh, okay, it's not giving us. Let me go back a little bit. All right, we'll do it again. Go long, enabled. We want to go long only after, not right now. So we identified the time period that we want to enable this strategy. You see this bar, this 1 minute bar at 1357, which means 158, right? So we want to enable it right there at 158, right? So I'm going to go and enable this thing. I'm going to fast forward this thing up to 158 just so that we can get there. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 158. Okay, so we're almost there. So now at this time, let us enable this thing. All right. So now we're telling this tool that, hey, once you see a minimum of 4 bar pullback, get me in, right? So let's see. I just want to show you the execution. And then there are a couple of other different things you can do with this, and I'll show that to you as well in a minute. Okay, so now you see it got us into a position, right? It highlighted that bar as blue. That means it's a long, right? It got us in by itself. This is our stop loss. This is our profit. I am in 2 contracts. So the way I like to trade, Karen, is I like to trade personally. I'll take like 20 points profit on the first contract, and then I will ride the second contract as long as the cloud this cloud, blue cloud, remains above the green line, right? The reason I do that is, yes, there will be some instances I might not make that much, but then there will be times that I will make 4 or 5 times my risk, right? Because what will happen is if you end up taking both contracts out here, right? That means you will end up getting back in at a higher price level, right? So you want to avoid that as much as you can, right? You want to give your initial trade a chance to keep you in the trade as long as and a lot of people focus on entry criteria, but you also need to focus on an exit criteria, okay? Just so that you have a plan as well, just so that you're not taking premature profits, okay? Uh, so focus on the process, not on the outcome, right? So the outcome is dollars. A lot of people see, hey, I'm green, I want to come out, I want to just get this money, and then only to get back in at a higher price, right? So that's because they don't have an exit criteria, okay? So I'm going to forward this thing a little bit.
Rather take profit for your second contract?
So I'll tell you. So exactly this is what I would have done in the real. So once if my this profit hits, right, I'll show you exactly where I will get out. I will get out once this blue cloud you see on the screen, it gets below this
Mm.
green line, which is the 100 EMA.
That's telling you
Okay.
it's changing. You might as well run. I get you.
Yeah. So I'm in the trade. I'm not gonna come out, right? I'm not gonna come out until or unless this blue cloud gets under the green line. I'm gonna stay in the trade. Okay. And you can see in the minute chart, it's also riding that cloud. Let's say I this thing hits the target. Okay, it hits the target, right? And now I'm going to increase my stop just just below this green line, and I will take that stop once this blue cloud gets under this green line. I'm going to keep riding it. I'm not going to come out, right? So a lot of people just take, hey, okay, I'm getting profit here. I'm going to close my profit. I mean, whatever. Yes, you will be fine, but then you're forcing yourself to get back in at a higher price, and price might not run from that point onwards, right? So you will get stopped, and a lot of people just get frustrated that, hey, I had a nice trade and I'm getting back in again, and it did not go as planned. That's because you don't ride this. See? So now I'm gonna keep riding it until it stays above the green line, right? So I'm going to forward this a little bit. I'm going to keep writing it, right? That's the criteria. That does mean that, let's say it comes down all the way from here, right? And as soon as the blue cloud gets under the green line, I will take I will close my position right there, right? That does mean I will not maximize my profit, but there is no way for you to maximize. I mean, this is the only way to maximize because you don't know when the price will come down or how much higher it can keep going, right? So there will be instances where you might not be coming out right at the top, but that's fine, right? Because you don't know how long it will keep running, right? So let's keep going, right? It's not coming down, so I want to keep riding it as long as it's above. So now I'm going to move my stop just above that because as soon as it comes back under 100 EMA, I'm going to close my position, right? So that's how you kind of ride it longer. You give your trade a room. You don't come out prematurely, and that's it. So it's still up, right? It's still up. I'm not going to come out. Yes, it will change the color. That's fine. Let it change the color. But as long as it's above the 100 EMA, I'm not coming out. I'm not closing my position. Okay. So that's how you do it. All right. And now let's go back. I'm going to reverse, go back this thing. I want to show you something else too. Okay. So that was one way of entering, right? Now let's say you, when the run starts, you want to enter only below a certain EMA. Okay, you're like, okay, hey, I'm fine, right? I mean, going long, but I only want to go long when it gives a deeper pullback. And the way you define a deeper pullback is that I only want to go long when it hits when the price comes back below 100 EMA, which is this green line, right? So now let's say this is going up. You're like scared to get in here. You're like, okay, I don't want to get in here because I might get stopped. So what you do is you tell this tool, okay, I want to be long only. I don't care about the number of bars. So you make it zero. That means you don't care about the number of bars. Whatever the first pullback you will get, it will get you in. But I only want to get in under this green line, which is the 100 EMA. So you will enable that filter there, right? And you will keep the cloud disabled because when the price comes back below that much, the cloud color will change at that time, right? But you're telling the strategy, I don't care about the cloud color. I just care about the price to come back below this 100 EMA line, which is the green line. So you do this. So that's just the flexibility of this tool that it allows you that you don't want a shallow pullback, you just want a deeper pullback, right? So now let's wait and see whenever it gives us the entry, right? It's not getting you in like the way it did previously, right? When I was showing you. Now it's waiting for the price to get back clearly below this 100 EMA line to get you in, right? It's not getting you in right now, okay? So and I like that approach for really quick scalps because whenever such a deeper pullback comes, the price, gives you a nice bounce quickly, right? And you can just take quick profits. So let's say, so it touched the green line, right? It did not come all the way below green line, so that's why no entry. It's still waiting. It's still
Has to
waiting for
close, has to close below the green line.
exactly. So it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. And let's say whenever it comes back completely below green line, it will get you in, right?
There you go.
Nope. The green line, there you go, right? Nice quick entry, quick one. You can take one profit quickly if you like, and then move the stop just above the break even and see if it gives you more, right? That's how you do it. And then you let it go. And then you can disable this tool at this time. You can leave it enabled, whatever. But even if you leave it enabled, it will not get you into another trade until or unless you're out of this trade. Okay. So now you just keep going. You can keep the same rule that I'm not going to come out until the blue cloud gets under 100 EMA, or just whatever you want your strategy to be. That's totally up to you. But this is the way I like to trade, right? So I'm gonna just keep on increasing that, keep on following that, right? Keep on chasing it because you don't know how much higher it can go. So that's how you can use this tool to define different entries, right? So in this way, I told the tool to get me in only under 100 EMA. The way showed you previously, you are saying, hey, I don't care about the 100 EMA. I just want to get in, but I want to get in at a slight pullback. And that's what I showed you previously. Questions? And similarly, you do it for the short positions, right? If the price is going down, you do the short only, or you can leave it on as both and let the strategy decide by itself. I personally don't like to do that. I like to kind of pick a choose and side which I want, and I usually leave it disabled. And whenever I see the overall condition get fulfilled, I just drill down into my Ninja chart and then enable the tool itself.
So what does a dynamic mean?
Dynamic means that you are completely telling this tool to automate itself, and whenever, so let me show you. What it means is if I draw another EMA here, so if I draw, let's get EMA, where is it? Where is it? There you go. Okay. 200 EMA. Let's give it a different color, purple. Okay, so dynamic means as long as this price in this Ninja chart is above 200 EMA, right? Uh, it will only consider long trades at that point in time. You can, if you want to completely automate this thing, right? It will only honor long trades above 200 EMA, and once the price is below 200 EMA, it will only honor short trades. It will not get you into any long trades below 200 EMA. That's just an additional thing I wanted there. Not many people use it, but if somebody likes it, that option is there. Okay. So yeah, so that's basically what the two examples I showed you to get me in below 100 EMA right here, and or get me in at a, this shallow pullback, 4 bar, 5 bar, whatever that is, but I want a minimum 4 bar, 3 bar pullback. And so those are the two I personally stick with, but then there are the people who are using this tool, based on however they like to use it. Somebody can come and say, hey, I don't like 100 EMA pullback. I want, I don't know, just say 50 EMA. You can write that. Or I want, let's just say I want more than that. I want 150 EMA. You can do that, right? That means you're even wanting the price to come back slightly more than 100 EMA to get you in, right? But that does mean I've seen, if that's the case, if the price is coming back down that much, especially in Inza Renko, that means the trend is dying down. You don't want to be in that trend, right? So that's why I kind of stuck with this 100 EMA. But you can test it out. You can play around with it a little bit. This next week, give yourself some time to play with this tool in the simulated environment, just so that you feel comfortable using it, and understanding which button will affect the price in a different way. How will it all work out? And of course, you can always ask me or any questions if you come across any. But that's the way to use this tool. Basically, overall, the biggest thing you have to worry about is not the tool, but the market condition, right? This overall condition when you want to enable this tool. If you enable that tool in this thing, and when the price is like this, when the clouds are all kind of jumbled up, it's not a good time to do. Yes, you might get one or two profits, but you will also get losses because the price is not trending, right? You want it to be in a time period when it's riding above these green clouds, and it's riding above, and you see this nice angle to these clouds, right? Then you go into your Ninja Renko chart and you enable this thing, right? And you can do that too. Hey, if you don't want to toggle with this thing too much, you can open two charts, right? You can open two charts like this, open in a new window, and to yourself that you can apply. Okay, let me close this thing. You can apply the tool on this chart as well, but now you know that on this left chart, you're going to take shallow pullbacks, right? So you're going to say, hey, long only. I don't care about the threshold. It can be minimum of 4. That's fine. Cloud color, that's fine. I like that. So now you know that's the setting over here. And on this chart, you want to get in below the 100 EMA. So you keep that setting over here with the EMA enabled filter, right? You don't care about the cloud color, you care about the threshold, that's fine. And you can do that, right? So now you don't have to change this. Oh, what am I going to, in case you don't remember. All you know is that, hey, whenever this thing starts, this thing gives me an entry below 100 EMA, and this thing gives me an entry, a little bit shallow pullback, just, based on the number of bars. So now you have two systems, and you don't have to really worry about changing things, on the fly. Okay.
Perfect. Do you
Awesome.
have any insight, like, because I mean, we use Apex funding right now. Um, to you have any insight on how to use this with their rules, I guess you'd say?
Which
With
one, Karen? Say it again. Sorry.
so we're using Apex funding right now. So
Okay.
do you have any insight on how to apply this tool to meet their rules and like with their drawdown and stuff like that?
Yes.
Would
So I would say, Karen, if you uh, I would say number one is stick to this rule, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And then based on since they have these drawdown sort of restrictions, if you look at this view for this example right now, the deepest pullback is when the price gets around these around this well in this is a minute chart. That's not a good example. Let me go back to the Ninja Renko chart. When the price the deepest pullback in this uptrend is when the price gets below the 100 EMA line. So I would say if you are trading Apex accounts for right now, just trade with this EMA filter enabled, which is that, hey, if the trend comes, I only want to get in below the 100 EMA. That way, the probability for the price to give you a bounce is much higher from that level versus if you are only trying to get in at these shallow pullbacks, right? So that's one rule I think can help you, keep you or give you, or I would say less drawdowns than versus the one that you would get in at where the pullbacks are a little bit shallow. Okay.
Okay.
So that will help you. That way, that way, if you got in here, right, this is the place you got in. So now the drawdown was minimal at that point, right? Because you just got back right there. Versus if you, let's say, were getting in somewhere here. Well, in this case, the drawdown was minimal as well, but the chances are the price could have gone down a little bit more and then come back up. So this is mostly the ideal points. Like if you go and scroll just like this, you can see every time it gets back under this 100 EMA line, the chances for a bounce are much higher, right? Look at this one, this instance right here, right? If you were to get in, of course, this might not have gotten you in because it did not completely get under the 100 EMA line, but I'm just telling you the concept right now that the chances for it to get under that and give you a nice bounce without giving you a drawdown are higher, right? So, for example, this one, you would have been playing short. So now let me get rid of this line right here. Where do you see the biggest runs occur from? Above 100 EMA, right? So you want to in all these four instances, right? One, two, three, four, your short entry would not have been here, not have been here based on the tool itself, right? Because this the product did not completely close above 100 EMA, but right here. And look at this. It gave you a nice flush from that side, and you would have made a nice. So it's all about probability. Where are the ideal spots? Of course, if you are doing this 10 times, there are chances you will only hit that thing 7 times. That's fine. That's the nature of this beast, right? But your job as a trader is to keep taking those chances and keep the probability in your favor. Okay.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, play around with this thing. Give yourself, I would say, few days to understand this thing because you might get an entry. You're like, oh my God, why did I get an entry here? And then you're like, oh, because of that setting. So just make sure you kind of, practice this a little bit in paper, in simulated environment before you go live with this thing. And once you get a hang of it, then you can definitely start using it more frequently. And if you come across any questions, shoot me an email or ask Annie. She'll be happy to assist you.
Yeah. And so going back to when you set all this up,
Hmm.
excuse me, and you click on your data series, go to strategies, and
Hmm.
then you have your little form you need to fill out with all your parameters, everything. If you set this up, and then when I come back to that over there on the right, all those are highlighted, and it's like I need to remove it, take it off, and then add it again. Is that kind of normal process that you were
Like,
something up there?
oh, you want me to go back?
Yeah,
Like,
like
like this?
No, for example, like if that wasn't on your chart and you were gonna add it, you would go to data series.
Yes, I would go to data series. I would. Oh, you mean this Rinzarenko chart was not on my screen?
No. That's all good. I'm talking about the parameter page right there.
Okay. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So yes, so this is on the screen, but if you want to go change something else other than because these are the parameters that you on the see on the screen are the ones that I
Yes.
would anticipate anybody who's an active trader would require them to change, right? You want to change filters, you want to change the cloud, you want to go long or short. So these are the quick buttons, right? But if you want to change the template, right? If you want to change the template based on which it is entering that template, yes, you will have to disable, you'll have to go here, you'll have to go edit strategy, and then you'll have to change that template right here because not I did it, sort of purposely because I don't want anybody to change the ATM template, just quickly from that, accidentally. But if you like that, I can try to build it in there. But
It's fine. I'm struggling with an ATM strategy and I'm
okay.
working that out. So when I
So this is mine, right? So if you look at this one, this is the strategy that I scalped with. Two contracts, right? I have my initial stop loss as 80 ticks, which is 20 points, right? I have my first target at 80, which is 20 points, and then this one is zero, right? Because I'm managing it myself, I'm moving it manually, so I just left it as zero. So what that means is once I'm in the trade, and I hit my profit, my first contract will hit the target at 20 points, and the other one I'm just manually moving it. Yes, I can put something in there like, hey, once this contract is out, move the second contract to, let's say, zero, stop loss to zero after 10 points. So that means once I'm out of my first contract will move to break even automatically. I don't have to manually do it, and then I can just kind of chase it because I have an exit strategy, right? I'm not going to come out of my last contract until that blue cloud gets back under 100 EMA. So that's why I'm manually actively watching it and I'm going to keep adjusting it, right? That's why I have it like that. But if you like it that, hey, I want to take a quick profit because, in Apex, if you start seeing some drawdowns that can go against you, you can have some stop strategy here, right? You can build that, hey, after the 40 ticks, move my stop to zero. I don't care wherever the other price is. I just want it to be not negative. You can do that.
okay.
Okay. And if you need that, since we are recording this will be part of your recording that I shared with you. But if you need any template that you think you're struggling with, just let me know. I can send you I can make that template and share the screenshot with you. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, guys, if you think of any questions later on, shoot me an email. But yeah, like I said, play around with it. You will like it. And definitely the idea is to make sure that you are active in this time period, right? You're active in when the price is trending like this. This is the time period, right? Because it's actively. And how do you identify that time period? I already kind of shared that with you. You identify it with the prices nicely up, riding these clouds, right? Uh, and you can have these clouds actually in the Ninja Trader as well, Karen. All you have to do is,
My 1 minute.
yeah, exactly. You just have to bring 1 minute chart. Exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
do have it up there, and so now I know how to visualize it. So that'll be helpful.
Perfect.
And the
Perfect. And if you happen to see the dots at the same time, that's even better because then you have more confidence, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I was like, okay, the dots aren't printing anything. That means it's kind of choppy. So just wait.
Yes, 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 yes.
I've been
Perfect.
doing that as well.
for the one
Oh,
minute, the best time to when you want to sit down to trade and you want to analyze, kind of see if you're following that green cloud, if you're going up.
yes. One
Minute.
minute is, yeah, because this nature of this beast NQ, 1 minute is like a lifetime sometimes, the way it moves. you know. So I think that's for us day traders, for us intraday scalpers, I think this is a good time period, to kind of stick to and make sure that you don't see that peak of drawdowns. Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Perfect.
awesome.
All right. I will share the recording with you probably in the afternoon. It just
Yeah.
takes some time to process. So I will email you the link and everything. All right.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good day, folks. Thank you for your time. Take care. All
Okay.
Bye.
right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.